know it's going to go right back to winter tomorrow. Or
Yeah, that's the sad part. You gotta take it while you can.
Yeah.
Let me check the light for the sun.
ABC, 1, 2, 3. ABC, 1, 2, 3. ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good. Okay.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Testing, testing, 1, 2.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Mic check, test, test, test. Mic check. Check, cool.
What if we stood over this way?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should just stand over from this way. All right, guys, give us a few more minutes and we'll get started, okay? I'll make sure you have a 2-minute warning. We forgot the tripod, so we need to live stream it too, so we gotta get our stuff. So, sorry about that. I'm pretty sure on a day like today, we would rather be outside than inside. Thank you. I'll put that one. But thank you. Yes. Yeah, we apparently the most. Yeah, of course.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Check, 1, 2, 3. Testing for Glenda, 1, 2, 3.
ready, set up? We'll do a quick mic check with the deputies, make sure everybody's good.
Test, test, test.
Give me the thumbs up. Stay on the end, channel 2, thumbs up.
Good afternoon. My name is Brian Nadeau. I'm the Deputy Police Commissioner for the Public Integrity Bureau. Today we are going to release 4 body-worn camera videos of an incident which took place on February 25th, 2021 at approximately 9:22 p.m. The location for the non-fatal shooting, which is the initial incident, is the corner of East Pratt Street and North Gay Street. The location for the police-involved shooting is a parking garage entrance near the 600 block of East Lombard Street. On this date and time, Sergeant Andrew Seymour and Officer Robert Brown were on patrol near the 100 block of South Gay Street when they came upon a non-fatal shooting which had just taken place near the CVS located at East Pratt Street and South Gay Street. Sergeant Seymour, the passenger, exited the patrol vehicle to call for aid for the shooting victim and secure the scene. Officer Brown chased the fleeing suspect in his patrol vehicle and then chased him on foot. The suspect ran down East Pratt Street, turned left onto Market Street. As the suspect neared East Lombard Street, Officer Brown turned his patrol vehicle in front of him to stop him. The suspect ran into the side of the patrol vehicle and fell to the ground. Officer Brown exited his vehicle to apprehend the individual, who got up and then ran down East Lombard Street. The backup officers entered East Lombard Street from the opposite end. The suspect then turned into the parking garage onto the ramp near the 600 block of East Lombard Street. The backup officers were Officer Edgar Aiello Lopez, who was the driver, and Officer Robert Cucciaro, who was the passenger. The first video you will see is from Officer Matthew Wagner, who arrives at the non-fatal shooting scene, and he and Officer Thomas Gross render aid to the non-fatal shooting victim. The second video you will see is from Officer Robert Brown's body-worn camera. As he enters the parking garage, the suspect appears to go down towards the ground, then stands up and turns around. The suspect draws a weapon in his right hand and begins to raise it up. At this point, all 3 officers on the scene discharge their weapons. In the third video from Officer Aiello Lopez, you will see him drive to the parking garage, exit his vehicle, and engage with the suspect. And in the fourth video you will see is Officer Cucciaro's. You'll see him arrive at the scene with Officer Aiello Lopez, exit the vehicle, and also engage with the suspect. You will note there is a 30-second buffer at the beginning of each video. Once an officer activates his body-worn camera, the video from 30 seconds prior, which is captured, is now recorded. But the audio recording starts when the body-worn camera is activated by the officer. Therefore, there will always be a 30-second buffer with no audio. At the end of the videos, you're going to see a photo of the suspect's firearm, which is a 9mm polymer 80 semi-auto handgun. It contained a 17-round magazine, which is typically sold only to law enforcement and military. We will now show the video. We'll put the photograph back up so you can see it. Does anybody have any questions about the incident? Yes, ma'am.
So all three police officers who responded fired shots, is that correct? And about how many shots were fired?
Yes, all three police officers that arrived did fire the weapon, and at this point we believe 16 rounds were fired. Yes, sir.
Originally at the press conference with both the mayor and the commissioner, it was said that the suspect pulled the gun and that the weapon misfired. During your statement, you never mentioned the suspect misfiring, and when we watched the video, there was no sound of misfiring. Can you please explain if the suspect's weapon actually misfired?
Sure. So when we say misfired, what happened was it appears from our investigation that when the suspect originally shot the individual outside of the CVS, when the weapon ejected a casing, it looks like the weapon jammed and that the next round did not properly load into the weapon, making it impossible to fire. Not knowing that, of course, because the slide would go back in place, almost fully in place, so the officer would know that. So at that point, if the suspect was to try to fire the weapon again, the weapon would not go off.
So, when the three officers before them fired, when we saw him pull out his vehicle, can you tell us if he fired the weapon, yes or no?
He did not. He did not fire the weapon at 55 Market Street outside of East Lombard. So,
When the video slowed down, there was the red ring, and he pulls out the weapon. Before officers fired at him, did he discharge his weapon?
he did not.
My second question is, can you explain to the public and the media why the first officer's body camera, I know you mentioned the buffer, but why it was silent? As he's pursuing the suspect.
Yes. So when you turn the body-worn camera on, it's always recording a video. It's not recording an audio. So when you turn when you activate the camera, it pulls 30 seconds of prior video to you. So in this case, it looks like Officer Brown activated his video as he was approaching the garage. And so when you watch the video, you could hear the audio start. But it pulls back 30 seconds of video. So that's why you're seeing him chase the individual. That's why you don't see him in the car chasing him, because 30 seconds has elapsed. So it only goes back 30 seconds.
And there was a bleep in what one of the officers said as he was giving commands. Can you tell us what the officer said or shouted?
Okay.
The first body-worn camera video where he's approaching the one that was slowed down with the ring, will we be provided with an unedited version of that? Okay. My second question, you mentioned the gun was a polymer 80, which I believe is also known as a kick gun, ghost gun. Can you talk about that part of the investigation at all? Like, how that is, somebody might get their hands on something like that? It seems like you could be in the process of proceeding towards those.
Yes. So that part of the investigation is still undergoing, how we obtained that weapon, where it came from. They are somewhat easily obtainable, unfortunately. It is a gun that is very much like a Glock, somewhat looks like a Glock, does take a Glock magazine in it. So we're reviewing to see where it actually came from, whether or not it was illegal. We have run it through the system. We don't see it's tied to any other shootings, but we are still investigating that aspect. Yes, ma'am. Can't hear the question.
Was there a motive for the shooting that happened prior, non-fatal shooting?
So the body-worn camera videos were not on at that point because they were on routine patrol, so there is no video of that actual shooting.
I know, but just as far as the investigation, do you guys know what led to that shooting?
So what led to it? Yes. So what we found so far is it appears that the victim was inside CVS, was exiting CVS when he came in contact with Mr. Tyson, who's the now deceased. Mr. Tyson and he got into a confrontation, a verbal confrontation, which led to a physical confrontation, which led to Mr. Tyson pulling a handgun and shooting the victim in front of the CVS. It does not appear they knew each other beforehand. That certainly is still under investigation. The victim is not from Baltimore, so that is certainly under investigation.
In a situation
When do they turn it on, you said?
Yeah, when they get a call like this one, when are they required to turn on the body?
Right. So they didn't get a call for this. They came upon this non-fatal shooting. So when they activate it, you will see the two, Mr. Ayala Lopez and Mr. Cucharz, theirs are on as they're going to the scene because they were dispatched to it, so they turned on the body-worn camera. Officer Brown was not dispatched to it, so they get. He is certainly sees an individual fleeing the scene. He chased after him as he got on a foot and chased him again. He did turn it on. But it doesn't automatically turn on. So you have to actually turn it on. He was never dispatched to the call. So he didn't turn it on until actually he got near the parking garage.
Last question?
Are the officers still on leave right now, and where does the investigation go from here?
What was the question?
Oh, I apologize, but are the officers involved still on leave right now, and where does the investigation go from here?
Yes. So all officers involved in a police involved shooting go on sort of administrative duties. We assess them through our health and wellness, have them get assistance to make sure they're okay to go back to work at some point. Also, the State's Attorney's Office reviews with us these cases, makes a determination whether or not there will be any criminal charges. Once the State's Attorney's Office has told us whether or not there will be charges or not, if there are no charges, we finish up our internal investigation and make a determination if they should go back on duty. As you can imagine, taking the life of somebody is very difficult for an individual. It's not like you'd see on TV in the movies, they're back on duty the next day, right? We want to make sure that we take care of the individuals and get them assistance. But a shooting like this has affected a lot of people, including the victim, the victim's family, also the people that were just walking by CVS that observes a shooting take place, and certainly the deceased, his family. So it affects a lot of people. So we want to make sure that we provide assistance to make sure that before we put somebody back to work, they're ready to go back to work and that they can go back on serving the citizens of Baltimore.
And do you have any update on the State's Attorney's Office, how their investigation is going?
No, those take quite a bit of time because they want to comb through the evidence that we collect and evidence they may collect. That takes quite a bit of time. So we want to make sure it's done correctly and at the end of the day, the right decision is made.
So it's not been yet passed over to them yet, or are they actively involved at the moment, or they're still waiting for you to?
State's Attorney's Office? Yes, they respond the night of the event. They're on scene from the night of the event. And as we progress interviewing, gathering evidence, we share that with the State's Attorney's Office on a daily basis. Yes. All right, thank you very much.